Hello! Today I'm going to talk about some of the symbols and icons of the United States, what they are and what they mean. First of all, there is the American flag. It's often called the Stars and Stripes. In the top left, there are 50 stars, one star for each state. Whenever a new state joins the Union, a star is added to the flag. So, since 1959, when Hawaii became a state, there have been 50 stars. There are 13 stripes for the 13 original states that existed when the United States became independent from the United Kingdom. Next is the national bird. This is the bald eagle. In general, the eagle represents proud independence, strength, and freedom. It is also a reminder of the large open spaces of the United States. The U.S. has many huge, beautiful national parks where you can see all kinds of animals, bears, wolves, deer, and so on. The picture you see on the left is an old photograph of a covered wagon. Before there were cars, this was the way that people traveled across the country. This wagon represents the pioneer spirit, the motivation to discover new places and new ideas. America started with 13 states in 1776 along the eastern coast, but people moved west, often traveling great distances to set up new communities, cities, and states. This, along with the cowboy, is the image of the American frontier. Next to the covered wagon is a picture of Apollo 11, the first spaceship to land on the moon in 1969. This was during a time called the space race in the 1960s, when the United States and the Soviet Union were trying to reach the moon first. If you look closely, you can see a bald eagle on the Apollo 11 badge. For me, this represents American technology and the desire to be the first and to explore new frontiers. On the left, on the next row of pictures, is the beginning of the Bill of Rights. This is a special part of the U.S. Constitution which gives Americans many important freedoms that politicians cannot easily take away, such as the right to free speech, the right to believe in any religion, assembly, and of the press, the right to carry guns, the right to trial by jury, and limits on the power of the police and the government. For Americans, freedom of individuals is the most important part of being American. Next to the Bill of Rights is the Statue of Liberty. The statue was given by France to the United States and was inspired by the end of slavery at the end of the U.S. Civil War. It celebrated the fact that the U.S. now extended its freedoms to all its citizens, including African Americans. It was opened in New York Harbor in 1886 and has greeted millions of immigrants coming from other countries to the U.S. to become Americans. Next to the Statue of Liberty is a picture of a melting pot. Americans originally came from all over the world. However, it is an important American, no matter where your ancestors were from, once you come to the U.S., you go into the melting pot. Everyone mixes together and becomes American. On the next row of pictures on the left is an old photo of a Native American in traditional clothing. Native Americans, too, are a symbol of the USA. They are also a reminder of the darker sides of the story of America. As the United States expanded west across the continent in the 1800s, Native Americans were pushed off their lands and suffered a lot. These days, Native Americans have a complicated relationship with the United States, with special rights to self-government. Finally, there are 3 pictures to represent great American culture exports. The first is a rock guitar. Rock and roll has changed music around the world, and it started in the U.S. in the 1950s with people like Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry. The second is the golden arches of McDonald's. American fast food may not be healthy, but it's popular all over the world. And finally, there is a silhouette of an Academy Award, an Oscar, representing Hollywood and how American movies have entertained the world. Thank you for listening.